हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वार्म वेलकम टू आस्क असलम। और आज की प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत करते हैं उसी तरह जिस तरीके से हम हमेशा करते हैं। विल टेक some live news which are very important for you to understand, and also we will also have some set of questions which I've already received from respective students and parents, and we will try to answer those questions. So friends, first जो question है, first जो news है, sorry, that's coming from Canada. So Canada has revised the list of programs for the students to meet the post-study work permit requirement. Earlier, there were the list of 178 courses. Now they've made a shorter list of 119 courses, which would make you eligible for your PSW for next 1 to 3 years, depending upon which course you're taking in Canada. तो बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा इससे स्टूडेंट्स जो कनाडा जाने वाले हैं। बट हाँ, ये खास बात है कि यू विल बी एबल टू have a look at the new courses, and I would draw your attention that जो usual courses है वो तो हैं, they have made some addition to new courses, जैसे जो veterinary medicine है, dentistry है, allied dental science programs है. These are the additions in the list. Teachers education in biology, chemistry, French language, drama, and computer science have been added into this list. Then architecture and landscape design, including advanced architecture studies, have been added to this 119 का जो list है वो. Plus skilled trades such as cabinet making, mill work, and CNC machinist training, construction project and site management of the programs. कुछ courses जो इस लिस्ट से निकाल दिए गए हैं. These programs are environmental studies and marine resource management. आपको ध्यान देना if you are going for this course. Trades tied to renewable energy such as solar and panel installation, and the entire category of transport related programs have been removed from the list. So how does it impact you? Well, when you're choosing the courses in Canada, you got to be careful that whether these courses are falling into the 119 new fresh list which has been described by the Canadian government, so that you know that you are going to get the PSW benefit after the completion of course, which is very important for most of the students, because हम जो students बाहर पढ़ने के लिए जाते हैं, we would love to spend our time gaining some practical experience through the jobs, through some practical trainings, and that gives you enough reasons why you should take a further decision of maybe applying to PR or coming back to India. So that's how it makes more sense for you. Second news is coming from a Cornell University, along having a tie-up with the Tata Scholarships. So every year, the Tata funds the Cornell education through its scholarship program through Tata Education and Development Trust. Okay, wherein every year 20 students are shortlisted and awarded this scholarship. This scholarship is of a total value of $25 million. Which goes directly to Cornell for the Indian students who wants to study at Cornell University. So this scholarship has been open for this year. You can go for more information on Tata Scholarship website to find more information. But however, I will give you some highlights. Here, the students' entire duration of the program, full-time program at the undergrad level at Cornell University is being covered. And this includes the financial assistance and the scholarship requirement. Secondly, I'll read out some of the documentation requirement that you got to typically give your family income statements, tax returns, employer letters if you have already got work experience, bank statement, detailed CSS profile. Additionally, of course, your academic records, transcripts, letter of recommendation, and a personal statement of purpose that why you should be selected for this scholarship to study at Cornell. So this are the documents which are usually required. When you're applying for this scholarship, please note that this scholarship is open for the programs at Cornell for the College of Architecture, Art and Planning, College of Engineering, and Applied Economics and Management, majors in Cornell S.C. Johnson College of Business, and major across colleges in biological sciences, physical sciences, and other sciences. So what does this scholarship cover essentially? So well, the big news is that this scholarship covers your tuitions and fees, reducing the financial burden which you may have to carry for you. Then there are some mandatory fees which you have to pay to the university. Then room and board, books, supplies, and personal expenses which are required to study at Cornell University. This scholarship is given to you in the first year, and it is renewable for the consecutive years if it is a 4 years or 5 years degree program, depending upon the duration of the course. However, there is one condition whilst you're studying with this scholarship in the first year is that you got to maintain your 3.0 GPA every year so that the scholarship comes to you for the consecutive year as well. So typically it is lasting for the 8 semester, counting 2 semesters in each year. That's a huge investment paid off through the Tata Scholarship Funds. And I would urge if those students who would like to apply for this kind of scholarship to connect with the Tata Scholarship website through the Tata Education Trust and make this scholarship available for you. Let's move on to the next topic. Next point is coming in from one of the very decent recent research which has been done. And the Times of India has reported that the students who have classroom-based or project-based learning environment, they find it easy to survive in study abroad environment. What does it mean? Is that the students who are not just acquiring the bookish knowledge in India, but they are also getting some hands-on experience or having an experiential learning whilst you're studying, they have got a better opportunity to fare well in study abroad. Well, that definitely indicates that the students who are coming from IB or IG board schools, the Cambridge International Schools, whereby your education just doesn't stop at textbooks, where the students work in the real world problems, they conduct original research, they do some collaborative multidisciplinary activities, and add some global perspective to their entire learning education system, which may also deal with a lot of issues, the real-time life, world life issues like climate change, mental health, social justice, AI ethics, and produce thoughtful, new, fresh, research-driven responses. Are the students who come from this background are likely to do well because study abroad pushes you to be innovative in your approach. And when you talk about the project based learning, well, a lot of students during the college days or school days nowadays, especially even at the school level, the schools and colleges are encouraging students to have some industry exposures, have some skilled program attached to your normal curriculum, or have some internship as a part of your curriculum. Hence, these kind of students who are getting this kind of environment would be very likely to have a similar environment to face there in abroad when they go for higher education, and hence this becomes very prominent onto their CV when they are making an application for the admission. Not just that, even when you are writing your SOP, statement of purpose, and those who do not know, statement purpose is a letter which student writes to convince the university or a college that why he is an ideal candidate for that particular course at that university. So you basically sell yourself, you market yourself to be selected by the foreign university. And here, SOP, which is the heart of your application, can describe your project-based learning, your outside classroom-based learning experience, and you've got a lot of things to explore, to write, to describe, rather than a student who has been studying just in the classroom and he can only theoretically write about his learning, having no practical or internship based experience to attach to it. And hence it becomes very vital for the students that when they come from this kind of background can move on to easily for study abroad structure or education system. Many times parents also ask, should we put our kids into the IB or Cambridge board, International Cambridge board, as compared to the normal CBSE or the state board? Well, technically, there is not much difference in terms of their eligibility. If they make themselves eligible based on their marks, they can very well apply with their CBSE board or their ICSE board or even their state board to any good foreign university. However, if you would like to have a better learning experience, in that case, your educational background coming from IB and Cambridge International Board, which essentially incorporate this international experience or the work based learning experience or project based learning experience would be an added advantage to you. Plus it also helps the students to have a mind shift towards the world's problems which we are facing, and think through it deep, do the deep down research, and prepare some projects and with innovative thoughts. And that's the reason why essentially it is a good sign when you come from that background or from the schools or college side. And the last news which I have got with me to read, I'm very proud to read about it, is that women's enrollments across our Indian IIMs at B schools has risen sharply, which is a very good sign, which also helps you to look at the diversity at the campus. And it's not just a male dominated, as you see when you walk into IITs. It's a male dominated campuses, it's a good sign now that IIMs are getting more women applications, more women students who are participating in the educational experience and adding more diversity to the students' body. This is something which is also worth noting, especially in a given time whereby we are having the challenges in India, whereby job employment, the employment rate among the women is highest, and then we do not have the education system which really helps, or not just the system, but the mindset of the families whereby women's are not being encouraged so well. I'm not talking about tier one city, but yes, tier two, tier three, tier four cities have got these problems which are very eminent in the country, and hence this would help us to push the women empowered education society. And I think there are many IIMs like IIM Indore, which has registered the good rise of women application, followed by IIM Kozhikode, IIM Ahmedabad, to name a few. Well, with this, let's move on to our question answer session. And I will read out the first question, which is in front of me. What's the right time to start preparing for study abroad if you're currently in standard 10th? Well, very thoughtful time to even think about study abroad. I suggest that your when you start your 12th standard, this is the right time to start preparing for your study abroad journey, depending upon which university you're going for. If you're eyeing for Ivy League or Ivy League plus universities, maybe you want to start 2 years in advance. So when you are in 11th standard, but largely for most of the students who we cater, and then those who are looking for a decent top ranking universities, 1 year in advance is a good preparation time for yourself. However, there are some other shades of these answers also. I suggest that if you're in 10th standard, then why not to look at the summer programs in abroad? Because in the vacation of 10th or even 11th standard, you can use your vacation time during summer or winter or Christmas vacation. Usually, summer and winter is the ideal time to go abroad for a summer program. They call it a winter program. Many people don't know that you can go for that 1 week program. It's an immersion program wherein you go, you attend the classes. There are universities who are hosting this 1 week, 2 weeks, or even 1 month program for international students. It allows you to experience the culture, the country, the weather, connect with the people, and it's kind of a tester for you before you go out after 12 for full-fledged bachelor's degree for 3-4 years. So it's a good way to throw yourself in that environment which you would like to experience after 12, experience it, go to that country, live in that environment, live as an international student for a short period of time, for this 1 week, 2 weeks, or 1 month. And that gives you enough experiences to judge yourself that how well you could be prepared for your long-term journey as a student for a bachelor degree. So summer or winter program, according to me, if you're in 10th standard, would be an ideal starting point for you to, before ordering the food, you may want to start with the starter. So that's the way you can treat your this summer winter program. Have that experience. You will get some really good experiential learning sessions. You would make some good international friends. You would get an opportunity to visit the city and country of that country, culture, and experience the culture. Have some industry visits done and explore the world. That's the best way to explore. And then once you come back, you will be in a better position to decide that, okay, in which areas I need to prepare myself better. And then you start in 11th standard if you're looking for Ivy League plus universities or other top ranking universities. You can start when you are starting your 12th standard. So 1 year in advance would be good enough in that case. We move to the next question. How important is a statement of purpose for top university, and what are important points which could be covered in SOP? Well, we just discussed in one of the news that SOP is the heart of your application, but the fact is that not all the universities would demand SOPs. So SOP is a very traditional way to prepare yourself and project yourself as a legitimate student for that university. But there are different ways to look at it. One, yes, it is a very important application, especially when you're looking for Ivy League plus universities or top ranked universities. They do give importance to SOPs and have a look at what you got to say to the university about your candidature as a student for that particular discipline, and how do you put forward your point, what you got to say about yourself, etc. Now, how do you break this SOP? I usually advise the students to start with the introduction, that who you are, what are you doing at the moment, what background you come from your financial, family, and academic point of view. If you have got some work experience, if you're already a graduate with work experience background, maybe you want to also speak a little bit about your exposure so far. Then the second para is the main para, wherein you would start connecting your past with future, that how and what you would want to connect your past exposure, if it is in line with what you want to do in future, need not to be always, however. And then you connect that what course you're looking for in that university, why that course, what did you like about that program, about the curriculum, about the university, about the country, maybe about the city as well. And you would like to make the logical connection between the past and what you're going to choose in this particular university with why. Then you would add another para in the main para, that would be your third para, where you are describing how this program, how this your decision is going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve in your future. So, how this program, this university, this country, this city, this curriculum is going to connect you to your future goal. What are you going to achieve through this particular program? How it is going to map your career roadmap? How you're going to reach to that point? And then the last para would be the concluding para, whereby you are going to conclude and summarize what you want to say through SOP. And you would conclude, you can also conclude on a high note, saying that your achievements in line with past and future, your positive points, your learnings, and then you will conclude that this is how you make your statements complete. So that's the way to look at SOP. Now, there is another world which exists outside SOP. So the universities, which could be also top ranking or mid ranking, and they may not demand you to write an SOP. In that case, they may rely on to your resume and holistic approach of your presentation of your all documents, and or they may also ask you to appear for the interview. So the students will be interviewed by the head of the department or the recruitment and student manager, who would want to see you, talk to you, and want to get through you. Directly or indirectly, he would ask the similar question which otherwise you would have covered in SOP, but here it's a more personal interaction, and hence they would give more importance to have a personal interaction with the student rather than just having a letter written by them. And this could be also an additional other alternative to SOP. And this is how you get selected. I hope that answers your queries. Next question is, how can I make good connections and a strong network while studying abroad? Well, for this, you have got a lot of opportunities. A lot of international universities and colleges have got different student clubs. That's the easiest stepping step for you as an international student who might be not be having any friends, family members living in that city, or have studied from that university, no known faces. Really doesn't matter. You just go and join those clubs. Now, what you can do, you can optimize the club joining based on your interest. So there could be sports clubs, and different types of sports have been played. There could be specific sports club for specific sports. There could be a music and art club. There could be festival club. That could be a quiz club. That could be a health club. There are hundreds of thousands types of clubs exist around the world. On an average, a big university could have around 50 to 100 student clubs, which you can run through their list when you are spending your time during the induction period. That's a typical time when you spend your first week or first few days to familiarize yourself with the university rules and regulations, universities' do's and don'ts, universities' culture, ethos, etc. And that's the best time to also have a look at and run through these clubs, and then identify that which clubs you want to be a part of. And that's the best way to get yourself connected with not only the university people but also with the locals. Second, I would advise that go and look for these social activities. There could be also social club for a matter. However, you can look out to go for the social activities, join some NGO clubs, NGO activities, not necessarily just at the campus, but also in that vicinity of that city or region where that campus is located. And then you can offer to do some voluntary services for these NGOs. And that's how quickly you can connect with the people. And your entire perspective of connecting the people would be very differently seen, because there is no commercial activities involved, and it implies that you're there to help the community, and hence people would be more open to connect you there. Another way is also to offer voluntary services to the local community centers, which could be related directly or indirectly to your religious faith or some other movement which are there in that city or region. That could be church, mosque, temples, where you can go and offer your free services. There are musical programs. There are different types of programs, and volunteers are required to volunteer those programs. And I suggest always students to identify these community centers around you, irrespective of what faith you follow. I strongly advise you get connected with the people. Very often you would be surprised that a lot of Indians are part of this community. They've been living in there for ages, and they could be a very strong connect for you in future, to connect you to a future employer, future job, future career prospects. And that's how easily you can expand yourself. Apart from that, there are various professional networking platforms. One of the world's largest platform, likewise, is Business Network International (BNI), and there are clubs like Lions Club, Rotary Club, and there are lots of like this clubs, which the Red Cross Club. So you can join this networking platforms, these social clubs, which would again help you to get connected with the locals and have and expand your networking environment and space for you to get benefited in future. But you should not enter with the viewpoint of what is in it for me immediately. Rather, have a mindset that, okay, I will join these clubs, these networks, these events, this association, with a view of what can I add value to them, rather than what can I get from them. So have this mindset, see that how can I help them, what can I add value, what do you know that could be worthwhile for them to explore in that association, in that environment. They can benefit from you. And then automatically there is a concept called givers gain. It means first you give, then automatically you gain, and hence it will come back to you sooner or later many folds. So that's a advice which I would have for all my students. And the last question I'm taking: can extracurricular activities or social work and compensate, or social work compensate for an average academic profile which applying when applying abroad? Well, no, because if the academic requirement says that you got to have 60 percentage or 65 or 82 percentage and above to apply, in a very rare cases, university may compensate your academic requirement against these extracurricular activities. In fact, students are always seen beyond academics. So university would say you have to have this much of percentage. Apart from that, We will also look into your extracurricular activities, your holistic approach as a student, and then we will make a decision towards the admission. So, this extracurricular activities, social work, or the NGO work, or any other certificates are an additional advantage to you in order to get easy admission after satisfying the academic requirement. This is in most of the cases. Well, some university may consider, but again, that some university will consider when the percentage, the gap is very small. Say they are asking for 82 and you score 79, 80, and there's a margin of 2-3% gap. Then in that case, some university at its own discretion may decide that, okay, let's have a look at the other activities and the certificates and achievements outside the classroom, what students has achieved. And if it is really remarkable, then they may come and they say that, okay, we would like to make an exception in this case and would like to offer you a seat. However, with this question, the another question arises that if I want to get an admission and I'm not meeting academic requirement, is there a chance for me to get the admission? Whether it's curricular activities के जरिए या किसी और के जरिए, then you may have a chance where if you are lucky to have the university seats vacant, the applications are not that many, and you are still becoming applicable to get the seats in that university. So we saw that the university is demanding, say, around 90% or 75% as a minimum benchmark, wherein student has scored 6, 8, 7% less. Maybe 75% is required. He scored 65, but miraculously he's got the offer letter. Why? Because at that time, not many applications were there for that particular course, and the students was there in the right time. And another one thing which you got to keep in mind that international universities do not accumulate all the application and necessarily take the decision in the end. They also go by first come, first decision making process. So it means that if you are early in making an application, though you may have a lesser percentage as described by the university on the website, you may still have a chance to get the university admission even without extracurricular activities, just because you made an application early and university had a choice to say yes or no. And that time they decided, since not many applications are there at that time, they would want to offer you a seat. I hope that that gives you in different scenarios to look at the admissions process and the opportunities. With this, friends, I would like to conclude the session. If you have any more questions, feel free to write in the comment box. We'll be happy to take those questions and come back again next week to offer you our insights and our perspective and our solutions to those questions, so that you can live a successful global life and lead to a global career. With this, I would like to thank you for watching this show, and would like to invite you for next Saturday for Ask Aslam, same time. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a happy weekend. Bye-bye.